Jules, welcome back to the show. Before the break, Don was talking about 4 very interesting circumstances involving transport accidents. And the first one we're going to talk about is the enraged cow. What's that, Anna?
Now, this is a case where a woman was actually on a 4-wheeler motorbike on a farm, and she went down to a bottom paddock to check on a cow that was calving and approached the cow but couldn't get quite close enough because there were, the branches of a tree were in the way. So she's actually got off the motorbike to approach the cow, and it's stood up enraged and goes to chase her. Now, she's had to jump back on the motorbike to try and get away, but in the process of getting away, the cow's actually caught up with her, hit her, and she sustained injuries when the motorbike's toppled over an embankment and caused her significant injuries.
Don, what was the big issue in this case?
Well, the question is whether or not it is an incident that's directly caused by the driving of a motor vehicle. That's a definition, Tony, of a transport accident.
What was the operative words?
An incident directly caused by the driving of a motor vehicle. And that was the question. Was it an incident directly caused by the driving? What features of driving did it have? And whether or not it falls within the transport accident scheme, being a transport accident.
And Anna, what did the court hold?
So the court held in this matter that it was a transport accident because this woman was engaged in motions that were involved with the driving. So she was putting the motorbike into gear, and in doing so, it was deemed to be driving, and therefore it was a transport accident.
And Don, what's the significance of it being deemed a transport accident?
It's a transport accident, therefore she has entitlements under the Transport Accident Act from the TAC. She'll get benefits, Tony, medical expenses, wages, also lump sum impairment benefit if she sustained a permanent impairment of greater than 10%.
It sounds to me she sustained some very nasty injuries.
She did.
So if they are serious, can she sue anyone or not?
She can only sue, of course, if she can prove fault on the part of another party, and also if she has what's called a serious injury, Tony. And we keep discussing on this show what a serious injury means in Victoria, but generally it means a 30% or more permanent impairment when assessed in accordance with appropriate guidelines, or if a person has sustained a serious long-term physical impairment or permanent serious disfigurement or mental behavioural disorder disturbance of a severe kind. So generally the serious injury is a threshold test.
Well, in simple language, viewers, and sorry, Don, I am going to simplify it.
Yes, please do.
Usually it means if the injury affects your day-to-day activities, which is enjoyment of life and or loss of wages or income, that's deemed a serious injury under the legislation. But significantly here, Anna, is that even if we can't sue someone because there's no one's fault, right?
Yes.
She might have loss of income for a considerable period of time. She's covered for quite a bit of time,
Yeah,
isn't she?
she may have some loss of income up to 3 years unless she's got an impairment over 50% ongoing. But she may also have the impairment benefit available to her, which will look at her injuries, not the pain and suffering damages, but give an assessment of her injuries and can pay her a lump sum if she meets the thresholds on there.
Okay.
And Tony, in this case, you look at the whole scenario. You just don't look at what happened. You look at how she got there, what her intentions were. She drove up her four-wheeler motorcycle to the place. She had the intention that had something happened with the cow, to jump back on the bike and go back to the farmhouse. So it was all just one act. It wasn't separate. There was a connection, a temporal connection.
Plus the motorbike was moving too. She'd put it in gear.
When she parked the bike, she had it facing away from where to get away. So she had it facing the cow. So when the cow came at her, she jumped on the bike, tried to put it into gear to put it in reverse. So it was a bit misunfortunate for her. But look, at the end of the day, it was a transport accident and she gets her entitlements under the Transport Accident Act.
Now, Anna, the next interesting case is the Black Saturday, 7th of February 2009.
Yes.
I can't pronounce this name, but it's Nia Thatu, is it?
Nia Thatu.
Yes.
Now, this case is about a mother and daughter who were involved in the fires, and they were in their car trying to escape via the local roads. Now, they're informed by the CFA that they actually couldn't go on any of the roads nearby because the fire was just overwhelming. So they had to park their car and wait for the fire to pass. Now, obviously, this situation would be extremely stressful, and the mother and the daughter sustained psychological injuries after sitting in the car for an hour and a half, parked while the fires went past. And then it was put to the court to decide whether these were injuries sustained within a transport accident.
Don, did the family win the case?
Unfortunately, no, Tony. The question was whether or not the psychological injuries arising from all this the Black Saturday fires, which Tony, everyone in Victoria remembers those Black Saturday
everyone
fires.
does,
It was tragic, and even the statements that the applicants in this case provided, very graphic. They saw everything in front of them. Their whole lives were just. They were texting their parents saying, "Well, this is it.
I'm not going to make it." Yep.
So the trauma that arose from that was not so much from the driving. It had nothing to do with the driving, Tony, unfortunately. It was just to do with the fires.
All right, let me
Which is
stop
what we
you there.
expect.
Let me stop you there. Assuming that the car was moving when the fires engulfed them, is that still not a transport accident,
It
Don?
has to not be coincidental. And I think that the judge in this case just summarised it, and you just ask the question, what caused your injuries? And if their answer is the bushfires, well, it's a common sense approach, Tony, and it's not a transport accident. So, look, it depends on, at the end, it has to be the injury arising from or directly caused by the driving of a motor vehicle. So in this case, it's very difficult because they did have post-traumatic stress disorder, no doubt, Tony, as would anyone in that situation. Very
Just
difficult.
quickly, one of the comments made was the roar was so loud that it seemed like 10 jumbo jets were landing near the car. Anyway, viewers, we've got to go to a break, so stay tuned and we'll be back with the other two cases. Thank you.